We begin CBS2 News at 5 o'clock with breaking news in Palmdale. 4 people, 2 of them children, are dead after a head-on collision.
A car and a van crashed on Sierra Highway and Avenue M. CBS2's Lisa Siegel is live at the scene where the road is still shut down. Lisa.
Absolutely, and this is a terrible, devastating scene behind me. I want you to take a look. You can see the massive wreckage after a fatal head-on collision that left 2 adults and 2 little girls, possibly twins, dead. Now, the coroner has just arrived, but the car is so mangled, they can only tell us it was a green sedan.
We believe it's a family of 4. Mother was in the passenger seat, father was in the driver's seat, and 2 children were properly seat belted in a child restraint seat belt chair.
But the impact of the head-on collision was too much for anyone to survive inside the car. Investigators can't even identify the model because it's torn in pieces. It was 10:15 this morning when authorities arrived on scene at Sierra Highway and Avenue M, only to find 2 adults and a little girl already dead. Another little girl inside the car was taken to the hospital, but also died. Now from Sky 2, you can see the devastating scene. I'm told the car was going north on Sierra Highway when for some reason it crossed over into oncoming southbound lanes, colliding with this van. I'm told the impact was so powerful, first to the front of the car, but then to the side of the car as it seemed to bend around the van. The male driver of that van is with the Antelope Valley Transit Authority. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Now investigators say speed may have been a factor with the car, but they're still trying to figure out why the green sedan crossed into oncoming traffic in the first place.
I've seen a lot of collisions here in the city of Palmdale, and this is probably going to be a very substantial one. The loss of 2 kids and a family is also, hurtful in a sense.
And again, authorities do believe this was a family. A man was driving and a woman was in the passenger seat. The 2 little girls were buckled into their car seat. A devastating tragedy all the way around. We will bring you more news from here in Palmdale as we get it. For now, I'm live in Palmdale. Lisa Siegel, CBS 2 News.
We understand that each time the bell rings or a call goes out, the lives of our first responders hang in the balance.
Even though he became a hero to the world, what Dave taught me was that you just need to be a hero with the person right in front of you.
Every firefighter is a caring brother or sister. We're there to lend a hand and to help you out, or a shoulder for you to lean on.
Alec, there's been an accident. Your dad was shot at work, and he died.
An emotionally painful yet poignant tribute to fallen firefighter Captain David Rosa. He was killed in the line of duty 1 week ago. Thousands of mourners gathered in a standing room only tribute to a man who left a lasting impact.
They came from far and near to pay their respects to Long Beach Fire Captain David Rosa. CBS 2's Michelle Shealy is live outside the firehouse where he spent so many years.
And she has a look back at today's services. Michelle?
That's right, you guys. Behind me is Station 10. That was where Captain Rosa spent so much of his time. His wife, Lindley, wrote a letter to her husband, and it was included in the program at the memorial today. In that letter, she said, "All I want to do is go back in time to have you not walk into that hallway looking to help." But then she wrote, "I know that's what you would not do." Thousands of mourners filled the Long Beach Convention Center to say goodbye to Captain Dave Rosa. 8 days ago, the Long Beach fireman was shot to death as he responded to an apartment fire. His son Alec told the crowd he was in shock after his mom shared the awful news.
My dad's a fireman. Firemen aren't supposed to get shot. And it wouldn't be real till I called a friend. And when I repeated what my mom had told me, that's when I started to cry. And I'd cry that day for about 10 hours.
One by one, friends, family, and fellow firefighters remembered the 45-year-old husband and father.
That days before Dave passed, I was able to work one last shift with him. We sat around the kitchen table at Station 8 for a few hours and shared, as he often did, that his greatest joy and accomplishment was his marriage to his love, Lindley, and being a father to his two remarkable boys, Alec and Sammy.
Dave Rosa was loved by his department, respected as a leader, and known to be a passionate friend who lived in the moment and made everyone feel special. This video of the training captain in the red helmet played at the memorial.
We try to preserve as much evidence as we can until your captain realizes gives you the go-ahead to go further.
We will carry Dave in our hearts as we carry on doing our jobs protecting the people of Long Beach. It's a job Dave loved to the very end, and it's a job that brought us together and keeps us together as a firefighter family.
The ringing of the bell is a tradition at a firefighter's funeral. Captain Rosa is a doer. He recently told his guys here at the station that he really wanted to replace the landscaping out front, but he never got the chance. Well, today, those firefighters told the mourners they took care of it in honor of their captain, Dave Rosa. Live in Long Beach, I'm Michelle Geely. Back to you.
Michelle, thank you. You can read a lot more about the life of Captain David Rosa online. Just go to our website at cbsla.com.
He looks like the most unharmful person. Look at her, she's scared for her life. Look, that is unnecessary.
An arrest caught on camera is getting a lot of attention online. It shows several LAPD officers with guns drawn arresting a black female in Inglewood. Some people on social media claimed officers were overreacting simply because of her skin color.
But late today, the LA County District Attorney and the LAPD revealed 25-year-old Amber Neal was wanted for allegedly being an accomplice in a violent kidnapping of two actors from South LA. An unidentified man has also been arrested, we're told. Neal is reportedly being held on a $1 million bail.
Well, turning now to the weather and the dangerous heat on the way. By the end of this week, parts of the Southland could be seeing triple-digit heat.
And CBS2's meteorologist Evelyn Tapp joins us now with a first look at this hot forecast. Hey, Ev.
Hey, Jeff, Pat, take a look at this. Red. It's a sea of red. We're looking at excessive heat watches in effect across the entire Southland, even the coast. This is going to kick in later this week, so of course we do have to get through a few more days, but definitely something to be aware of. Let's take a look at current conditions here at home. You'll see most of that marine layer sitting off the coast. It's going to start to move onshore though tonight. Temperatures quite warm, 70s and 80s, 85 Ontario, 83 Corona, 78 Fullerton. And again, if you like today, well, tomorrow, 4th of July is going to look pretty similar. We're going to break that forecast down for you in just a little bit. I do want to show you wind gusts right now, a little gusty for the high desert and the coast. We're going to have the rest of your forecast coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
Evelyn, thank you so much. Well, police have just released new video of the fatal shots fired after a brawl at a party, which killed an 18-year-old man. A shooting. Well, that shooting happened just after 1 a.m. during a block party in an industrial area of Santa Ana. We're told a single bullet struck and killed 18-year-old Robert Silva. Today, his heartbroken sister, who doesn't want to be identified, pleaded for help to catch the killer.
If they were to picture themselves in my mom's shoes, in our shoes, it's a pain that you're never gonna heal from. And for those people at the party, whoever has proof of anything, for them just to keep quiet, I don't think it's right. I think they should speak up.
Well, police do not know if Silva was the intended target or an innocent victim.
Developing news now, the Senate Intel Committee reporting the nation's intelligence agencies were right all along that Russia did meddle in the 2016 election with the goal of helping President Trump win. This report is bipartisan, unlike the one released in the House. The Senate Intel Committee released a summary of its findings, saying members studied numerous documents for the past 16 months.
Yeah, and that report does not address the issue of collusion, but it did say intelligence agencies were on solid ground by saying Russia had a clear preference for Trump. President Trump disagrees with that, and the House Intel Committee also found no evidence of that, but members there split along party lines, with Republicans siding with the president.
The Trump administration is getting rid of guidance that called for schools to consider race in admissions. The Obama administration had given schools flexibility to promote diversity in their student body. Today, the Trump administration announced it's rescinding that guidance. It says the rules are not legal and violate the Supreme Court's precedent on affirmative action. The move comes as the Department of Justice investigates whether Harvard University discriminates against Asian Americans in its admissions policies. Public universities here in California already are not allowed to consider race and ethnicity in admissions.
Well, now with less than a week to go before his announcement, President Trump is firming up, we're told, his short list of contenders for the next Supreme Court nominee. There is more. The president interviewed 3 prospective nominees today and 4 yesterday, we're told. He reportedly has narrowed down his list to 7 possible replacements for retiring Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy. Now, how the issue of abortion will be factored in remains a question at this hour. 2 candidates have touched on that issue in past comments.
I would follow Roe v. Wade faithfully and fully.
My religious belief would not bear on the discharge of my duties.
Well, experts say the nominee will need support from both GOP conservatives and moderates to be confirmed. The president plans to announce his nominee, we're told, next Monday. Coverage of the latest news out of Washington, D.C. continues right here at 6:30 on the CBS Evening News. Oh, the 4th of July rush is on. Take a look at the traffic across the Southland. It is expected to be at its worst, Pat, right now.
Well, could it get any worse than that? My goodness. Let's go up to Stu Mundell. He is live in Sky 2. Great place over the 405 and the 10 with more on the holiday getaway. Stu.
Well, you know, it's a great place to be up here. Down there, there might be a little bit frustration, that is for sure. That is going to be the 405 north and southbound right there in that shot, right about at the 10 freeway. And we've been watching the traffic out here all afternoon. Now, they've been calling it Terrible Traffic Tuesday is what they were calling it, because tomorrow is the 4th of July, in case you didn't know. And some people are taking a day off, and they are heading out now. So that's going to be adding in with the people just going home. And yes, there is a lot of traffic out here this afternoon. I can tell you, though, this is a very bad spot. It always is. The 10 freeway, it is a little bit better. I would just call this Traffic Tuesday. Take away the terrible. Wherever you guys are going, have fun, be safe, and just remember, it's just traffic. You'll get through it. Live in Sky 2, I'm Stu Mundell. Back to you two in the studio.
All right. I always said I love Stu's office, right?
It's got a view.
It's beautiful. That's right. Well, now, if you are traveling this 4th of July, getting there will cost you more, especially if you're driving. The AAA says it's so bad they are calling today Terrible Tuesday, as Stu mentioned. Gas prices are up 62 cents compared to this time last year, and that makes it the most expensive July 4th holiday at the pump in 4 years. AAA says the cost of crude oil is the main reason.
When we see crude prices go up, we generally see gas prices go up too. Even with OPEC's potential decision to increase their production, it may not be enough to offset the supply levels not keeping pace with demand.
AAA also says gas prices will continue to go up in the coming months and could also hit a new high this fall.
But first, it is a race against time to save a dozen boys from a cave in Thailand. We'll have the latest on their rescue effort.
Plus, 2 on your side gets results. A veteran living in the high desert says his air conditioning hasn't been working for weeks, and the warranty has been nothing but problematic.
And what goes up must come down. A giant LeBron James banner is removed in Cleveland today as the basketball superstar prepares for his West Coast move.